Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Hello, Miami Dolphin fans on this Throwback Thursday. I hope all is well. A lot of crazy stuff going on in Miami Dolphin world. People fighting on Twitter. What else is new? Who needs Bills fans, Jet fans, and Patriots fans when Dolphin fans have themselves to fight? Gotta love it or hate it, whatever. We fight among ourselves more than other fan bases fight with us. I just don't get it because at the end of the day, we all want the Dolphins to win, guys. So let's go, Dolphins. Let's talk some football. Today's Throwback Thursday. On my thumbnail, the photo that you saw for this, pictured on there was Richmond Webb, Keith Sims, and Tony Nathan back in the day. So those are the guys I decided to throw out there with on Throwback. Hey, just as positive, there is hope in the world. Did you know that Richmond Webb and Keith Sims were taken in the first and the second round of the same NFL draft? So there is hope. You can change things quickly, guys. They came in as rookies and started from day one and solidified that line in front of Mr. 13 Dan Marino, none other than the Hall of Famer himself. And I personally think Richmond Webb should be up there in consideration for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He has a pretty good resume. But anyway, enough about Throwback Thursday. That was just some jaunt down memory lane, which I always like to do on Thursdays. But as far as the news, Xavier Howard was talking this morning, and he was saying that the door is closed on him coming back to the Dolphins. He said that live on the Joe Rose show this morning on 560 WQAM on local radio here in South Florida. So the door is closed. And of course, that got Dolphin fans debating. Oh, he wants to go to a winner. He just wants to win. No, he wants the big money. The Dolphins have always taken care of Xavier Howard. So there's other players you can say we didn't maybe treat fairly in the contracts and they left us. But Xavier Howard, we've paid the man. It's just time. You have to free up money somehow. They move him on. He wants to move on. He still wants to be paid. He has said multiple times he doesn't want to take a pay cut. So it's understandable. And that's what, at the end of the day, go out and earn as much money as you can. I'm with you. That's what you're there. You bring us the entertainment. But I'm not of the theory that he's just going so he can go to win. He's going probably maybe even back to Houston. Who knows? He's from that area. So we will see, guys. We will see. Let's see who we have. Back It Up Ben's podcast. Thank you, Jeff, for coming in. And guys, make sure you check out his channel, the Back It Up Ben's podcast. All kinds of cool topics all of the time. Fun stuff. We agree. Sorry, guys, I haven't been on the past couple of days. I've been dealing with a cold, but feeling a little bit better. But you just heard the cough, so it's a little almost over. Just a minor cold. It's mainly sneezing and runny nose, a good old-fashioned cold. No flu, COVID, none of that stuff. Knock on wood. So that's all good. But anyway, Barry Jackson had a very good article about Jerome Baker, and that Jerome Baker is now set. He's been released, so there is a chance he could come back. But most likely, if he would have been able to come back, they would have reworked some kind of numbers. But they probably, I'm sure his agent, Rosenhaus, feels like he can get more money on the open market. So Jerome Baker leaving. But I know some people weren't big Baker fans. Some people were big Baker fans. I liked him. He was pretty good. And yes, though I understand why they did the move for money-related reasons. But with that move comes another void on the roster spot, which Miami already had several voids, as we know. We got questions on the offensive line, questions on the edge with our injured guys, not so much talent that we have, but available talent is the big question. And corner Xavier Howard, as mentioned, has said the door is closed on him. So now we add linebacker to that need. Barry Jackson had a very good article. I'm going to go over some of the names that he said would be possibly of interest to the Dolphins in free agency. The main one that most Dolphin fans want as a logical fit, Patrick Queen. He's probably going to be too high priced for the Dolphins budget this year. And we'll get into more of that. But overall, it's it's a lot of time between now and the start of the 2024 season. So the roster is going to change. We still are about, and last I checked before the show, like 19 million over. So we still got to get under over and that's with all the moves of getting rid of Baker, the post June of Xavier Howard coming off the books because that's when the big money starts on him coming off the book. But we're at 19 millions over the cap. Last I checked, I can check again here, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. They got rid of Crossan, got rid of Baker, all the name Ogba, all the names that we figured the Dolphins would be moving on from. They have been moved on from. There's no shock in any of the names that the Dolphins have decided to part ways with as of yet. That could change, and it could be a name that we're like, holy moly, I didn't see that one coming. And a guy that's already come in for a free agent visit because he's allowed he was cut by the Atlanta Falcons. So that's allowed as long as you're cut and you're not a pending free agent. He's been released, free to sign with anyone at any time, such as Jerome Baker can sign at anyone on another team. But John Smith, tight end, visited the Miami Dolphins this week, according to multiple reports. I mean, Adam Schefter said, and that they have negotiated, but nothing's concrete at that point. Joe Smith happened to be he's one of the rare players that actually played football where I went to college, but I'm so old that the school didn't even have football when I went to college, FIU. So, but he played for FIU. He was a third round draft pick in 2017 by the Tennessee Titans. He's played for the Titans, the Patriots, and the Atlanta Falcons. He had a decent year last year. So it'd be interesting to see if he can come in and if he ends up signing a deal with Miami, or was it just a test run to stick their toes in the market on him? But again, right now they're over the cap. They could sign him right now, but then that's just more money they got to cut from the cap because this would count towards before the next league year. So you could be over the cap, but you have to be under it by March 13th, which is right around the corner now. Hey, good morning, Outback. Big fins up to you. Thank you for coming in this morning, Mr. Outback. So we're going to get into some of the names that Barry Jackson did a very good. If you guys have a ever get to check out the Miami Herald, check out Barry Jackson. He had a really good article, and I'm going to touch some of the linebacker prospects that he mentioned as possible Dolphin targets. So there's always that because we're always talking about the guys leaving, but we are going to have to add some bodies coming in. A lot of debate. Oh, I saw Omar Kelly. He tweeted out that the Dolphins, or I think he wrote a whole article. I haven't read it, but he was talking on the Joe Rose this morning because Joe Rose is really Jarvis Landry is the best you can do for a third receiver. He goes, well, the man's great. He goes, yeah, but he hasn't played football in a year and a half. So he was mentioning Jarvis Landry coming back to the Dolphins as the third receiver. And we will see on that front. But it was funny if you look, that was before the Xavier Howard bombshell where he says the door on my returning to Miami is now closed. That's Xavier Howard himself. So can't get it more from a direct source. But like I say, to me, Howard is one of the guys that the Miami Dolphins have treated more than fairly over the years. They've always paid him, gave him the money. He's been a good Dolphin up until his release. He's the longest tenured Dolphin. Nothing but the best for him. But I don't want to hear that the Dolphins didn't treat him well. That's the one guy the Dolphins have treated very well financially over the years. So It is what it is, as they say in the sports business. Good morning, Flava J. Thank you so much for rolling in here this morning. Big thumbs up, fins up to you. And make sure you nail those thumbs up button by throwing a laser past that thumbs up button. Yep, I agree. I agree 100% Outback. I couldn't have said it any better. The Finns went out of the way for Howard. They don't owe him anything. You're right, 100%. I know that's may sounds mean or tough or whatever, but the Dolphins took care of him. There's other players that could have a gripe about, oh, you never really paid me and this and that. But Howard, they always paid him. They reworked his contract a couple of times, always made him among the highest paid corner. And and now it's come a time where maybe his performance hasn't been up to that salary. And from a financial standpoint, it does make sense to move on from him. And if he wants to go sign somewhere, and maybe have a chance to win, hey, more power to him. But don't tell me it's about this to win, because he could have just simply got out of Miami when we were going through our rebuild. I'm sure they would have gladly moved on from his contract when we were going through our rebuild. But he wanted the money. We paid him the money. So there was no talk about winning. So, it is what it is. Yep. Remember, he said he didn't understand something in the contract. I know. Hey, that falls on you and your agent, not the Dolphins. Yep. Yeah, I know. And right. Yes. And then they did rework it and he got more. So it's just, it is what it is. They've took care of him. That's one guy I'm not going to feel sorry. I wish him well. I hope he stays healthy. He goes plays. I hope he doesn't beat the Miami Dolphins in any playoff games or anything like that. But outside of that, go have a great closure to your career. Wearing another uniform, it's fine. You've earned that right now. The Dolphins release you. You can go talk to any team you want out there. But Xavier Howard is the one guy the Dolphins have constantly taken care of. So that I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. Hey, Justin, big fins up to you out there in Colorado. I hope the weather's clearing up and I hope you're running around being busy out there. Yes, thank you guys. Hit that like button for me. Justin, I still got to get you on for a couple drafts prospect shows, even if it's very slimmed down from the great coverage we did last year. But you really bring in the good stuff. Got to talk you into it. I know you're out there busy, and I understand it. You got to make that moolah. I got it. But anyway, now let's bring in Barry Jackson's article. These are names that he mentioned with Jerome Baker out. Patrick Queen, but he said it's very unlikely because PFF is saying he's probably going to get $18 million a year with $50 million guaranteed, but that he would be a top choice, good fit, obviously, with our defensive coordinator that's been hired from the Ravens. But from a financial standpoint, it doesn't make much sense. From a football standpoint, it's like the perfect marriage. But from the financial standpoint, he has it very highly unlikely because the Dolphins would have to come up with a lot of money to pay him $18 million when you got other weak spots on the team as well. He said more likely guy is like a guy named Blake Cashman, and he's from the Texans. He was a fifth round pick of the Jets in 2019. He had a really good season last year, basically a breakout season last year in the 2023 for Blake Cashman. He does decent again because you need a good coverage linebacker because David Long was top run linebacker in the NFL, but he was rated among the worst in coverage. So anyone you bring in opposite David Long, you definitely need a guy that can cover, which gets me to Cashman. He ranked right there, 16th. He was 16th versus pass last year in his time with Texans. And let's see. And what else did I have on him? Oh yeah, his contract would be like 2 years, $8.25 million, according to PFF. Of course, open market, free market society, those numbers could go up or they could not. They could go down, but with all the extended cap space of all these teams, I don't see that happening. Next guy he mentions He mentions two Kansas City guys next. Drew Tranquill, who was a fourth round pick of the Chargers in the 2019 draft. Miami had interest in Tranquill last offseason. Tranquill limited, he said that Miami, Kansas City, and Philadelphia were in his final three finalists. He chose Kansas City. Mr. Tranquill, you made a good choice, as they would say on the Money Box. What's that show? The one with Howie Mandel. But you made the right choice, Mr. Tranquill. You got a Super Bowl ring to show the rest of your life. So, but anyway, he is again a free agent. And they're saying Drew Tranquill is looking for maybe 2 year, $10 million. So that's affordable. And, so that's another good guy. Really Gay, another Kansas City Chief linebacker mentioned. He does not do too well, though, in the pass coverage, but he has a skill set. He has a speed and all that, but he allowed, according to PFF, a 101.6 passer rating against him on balls thrown to people he's covering. So you got that. Then to make Scotty happy, he mentioned a pair of Tampa linebackers in Devin White, who should be noted got benched during the season, and Levante David, who is another Miami native, was also mentioned among the possible linebacker replacements in Miami. Levante David's looking like at this point in his career is probably looking like a 1 year, $5 million contract, which is affordable. But do the Dolphins want to bring in a vet or do they want to go young? Who knows on that? Let's see. Oh, Scotty had mentioned Tranquil last offseason, hoping so. Yes, Barry Jackson, if you have Miami Herald, Scotty, you can check him out. He wrote a whole feature on a lot of these guys. Justin says he scouted Cashman. Tranquil was very athletic, good coverage linebacker. Yes, that would be good. Really doesn't matter who we sign unless the line. Oh, I know. We definitely need line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, especially if you're considering Wilkins all but gone. You need, hey, Michael K. You need help on the defensive line. Hey, at least Michael K. At least your Bills are cutting as many people, cutting as all the talent off your team. So you can't trash talk too much, Michael K. Hey, Mr. Stubbs, big fins up to you. Thank you for walking in here and nailing those like buttons. I appreciate it. So those are all good guys. I don't know what you guys think of going back to the tight end. I kind of blend everything in. I don't know if you guys yay or nay on John New Smith coming in at the right price. Obviously with the Dolphins right now and everything has to be on the right price. Only thing I think it'd be cool is to have a tight end from FIU. I can actually have a FIU guy here on there. So let's see. I think the moves are great. I hear Buffalo is looking for. Yeah, Buffalo definitely has made some moves, and we got a veteran corner leaving. They got a veteran corner leaving, and it is sure. I think they're serious about winning, Justin. I just don't know if they know how to get over that final hump in the process because they get to where they can get to 2 years in a row to get to the playoffs, but they just don't know how to close the deal on that. And yes, though, putting butts in seat is always going to make owners happy. Getting eyeballs on watching them on the TV, always going to make owners happy. So I get you there for sure. Well, I mean, really, so many teams have issues. It's just like the same teams, if you look, man, always find a way to be good over and over. What are they doing that we're not doing? That's the question. Anyway, we need a tight end like Smith or Noah. So yeah, I was happy to see that they brought in that a tight end. I mean, not that he may be the big game changer or anything like that, but to see that they know they could use an upgrade there. Keep in mind The draft is thin for the Miami Dolphins. At least we got the first and the second. But as I say all the time, we have no third, no fourth. So that's a long way to go before we dip our toes back into the draft after those first two picks. To me, it's like way too long of a issue there just to throw it up there again. A first, a second, no third, no fourth, all the way to the fifth, and then you got the 2 6, and you got the seventh. So somewhere along the way, the Dolphins have got. To me, I think it'd be vital if they could trade down, but you also don't want to go too far down because you do want to get some top level talent to fill in on this roster that's very cap against and top heavy with contracts on the top. So you do need moving forward, and you need to keep some of those. Chris Greer said it himself. He said we can't keep on doing business the way we've been doing business. No duh, Chris. I could have told you that long time ago. And I hope he proves me wrong because there's enough ammo on here for me bashing Chris Greer that he comes back and proves me wrong. And we're hosting up the Lombardi one day. But man, I don't know. The man's been with the organization since 2000, been the general manager since 2016. Some would debate and say he didn't have a say until 2019. But when I went back and researched the 2018 draft, all the articles are saying that Chris Greer had final say in the draft. Tannenbaum had input, but Chris Greer, and they picked what's his name that's over in Pittsburgh, so it's not like it's a bad pick. So that's actually a feather in his cap. But maybe he's had some more say since we haven't given him credit for. That's the unknown because he has been general manager since 2016. But like Justin was pointing out, well, who are you going to go get? But it's not my job. Someone has to know that what teams to steal from out there to get that. Yeah, I know that's dreaming. I know, but you know what? I can dream it, or I can watch my son do it on Madden. Hey, well, definitely we've had our hits or misses on the draft. Like I was saying, there's been some good draft picks. I tend to pick on Greer a little bit too much, but yes, development has been. I think we're starting to see some development of the players better, but it's took a long time. I do believe our offensive line performed a little bit better recently, so that is cool. Some of them develop, but man, there's not really a need on this team because I know some people will even say quarterback. That's the only one that would surprise me though in the first round. Receiver would still surprise me in the first round, just because. But so many mock drafts as of taking guys, and then Tyreek Hill comes out saying we should take the LSU kid and all of that kind of stuff. Let's see. Oh, Chris Crampton Band-Aid. Buy all the skinny object in the windows, cover up your draft pick. Hey, no, you're all the shiny items. Yeah, you're right. That's been a philosophy when he's failed at the draft before. I just hope that there is a future to this Dolphin that they just need to get a playoff win. That's the thing, man. I think this is why fans are foaming at the mouth. They have foamed at the mouth. Let's see. Every team. Oh, of course, no team hits every pick. I wish the Dolphins. Believe me, I know that, but other teams hit at a higher rate than it seems like we do. You could look at there are shining examples. Yes, they may not have won the Lombardi recently, but they've been in it a couple times. The 49ers, they go through a lot of different situations, but yet they're always up there doing well. Kansas City, they're like almost a misnomer because they got freaking Patrick Mahomes, but they built a really good defense. So kudos to them because it's just not all Patrick Mahomes, but yes, he is like an outlier. So it's kind of hard to compare Kansas City with it. But they saw the foresight to move up and take Patrick Mahomes while other teams are, drafting Mitch Trubisky with moving around, getting picks. They saw the foresight to come up and get Patrick Mahomes. So again, someone in the Kansas City organization knows what they're doing. And simply that simple. Even the Eagles, they have a lot of talent and they're not up against the cap as much as we got up against the cap. And they started their rebuild more or less the same time, and they've already made a Super Bowl appearance. So I don't know what's happened. And remind you, this is like Philadelphia won the Super Bowl, got rid of that coach, got rid of that general manager, tore it all down, and somehow they made a Super Bowl again. And we've been rebuilding since Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble were running around. So I don't get it. But hey, I'm still a Miami Dolphin fan, and whoever rocks the aqua and orange, that's who I will root for. So I try to have that hope, try to have that hope. But sometimes I admit when you're on Dolphins Twitter and you're on here, it's hard to stay positive. But and then you see the cap numbers, the lack of draft picks. Hard to stay positive, but it's only March 7th. I always look at the date to make sure I don't give you the wrong date. It's only March 7th. So there's a lot of moves that can still be done. But as I said, as of today, I think we're at 19 million all over the cap still. So there's a lot more moves coming. They could be of the restructure variety. I think Wilson could be let go. I'm pretty sure he hasn't been gone yet. So there are ways they can free up more money moving forward. But hey, there's always that hope. And that's what I try to live for, or why I even do this. I'm only going to complain all the time, right? We got enough guys that complain all the time. I tried to bring a little more positive to it. Let's see. Well, I always thought you were a little higher on Baker than other people, Justin. Oh no, you were always rough on him, but you said he had a decent year last year. Other teams are way worse. And I was like, yeah, if you want to hold your hat on that, Timothy, there you go. I can say other teams are worse off, but doesn't give me that feeling of my team actually winning. But if I want misery with company, then yes, you are right, Timothy. There are some teams that have it worse than us. But I just want, to me, it's just I have a hard time understanding how the 2023 was the win now, and we didn't even win a playoff game. Granted, we've had well documented injuries. A lot of teams have injuries. That unfortunately is an unavoidable part of NFL football. You're gonna have guys get banged up. We just happen to get them all banged up in the same positions that limit takes one of our strong strengths into a weakness. At the end of the day, though, if you look up what NFL team has the longest drought since a last NFL playoff victory, our Dolphins come number one on that list. And that's not a list you want to be number one on. So that's why I'm a little down, Timothy. It's just, yes, there are other teams that are in bad, shape. But at least the Broncos, all their fans, unless they're little kids that just started watching football, they remember a Super Bowl victory. When Peyton Manning there at the end of his career got a victory for, they won. So I was like 3 years old when the Dolphins, and most of you guys probably weren't even born. That's in this room. I know Justin wasn't. So most of you guys probably weren't even born when the Dolphins last won the Super Bowl. I was a teenager the last time the Dolphins were in the Super Bowl when they lost to the Redskins, then Redskins, now and whatever, Washington Commanders, whatever. But then they lost to the 49ers. Those are the two Super Bowls I remember. And it is what it is. So at least I have those. Most of you guys, like I say, young Justin, I know, don't know Scotty age. I mean, he comes in here all the time. Outback Orchid comes in here all the time. So I don't know how old you guys are, but put it this way: when I have two adult sons and neither of them have been on the planet, the last time they won a playoff game, I'm not talking Super Bowl guys. I'm talking playoff victory. That's why. But I do try to be positive, guys. I just try. I really do. That's why sometimes I won't even do a show on the off season if I'm feeling like I have nothing positive to say today. But I saw when I was driving around, I was debating because I've been battling this cold. You can probably hear a little bit in my voice. But I said, when I heard Joe Rose and Xavier Howard say, "Oh, that door is closed," I knew that was a good topic. And to me, when I started saying, "Oh, see, that's it. They don't treat their they've treated Xavier fine, guys. Let's not blow everything up like the world's falling apart. They've more than gone out of their way to take care of Xavier Howard. So it is. Yes, Wilkins, they missed a boat. Should have extended him earlier. He's going to test him. Maybe the market won't be as robust as he thinks, and Miami has an outside shot of giving him, but I wouldn't bank on that. I think some team with the cap numbers raising up, some team's going to spend like a drunken sailor and make Kristen Wilkins an offer he can't refuse, as they say in the mafia movies. He's going to take it. He's going to run. And you know what? More power to you, Mr. Wilkins. You've earned this right. You've played your heart out for the Miami Dolphins. You're a leader on and off the field. You deserve what you get in free agency. And I hope it's a big bag and you go to a team you just don't like. I always say, though, I won't root against you when you come against the Dolphins. That's all. But he deserves the big bag of money, Kristen Wilkins. That's it. Because, hey, it's a free market society. NFL has a higher cap number this year. Some team's going to make that young man a very rich young man, and he would be set for life. No, I agree. Baker was not. It's just the fact is he's a body that has to be replaced. Is that a mean way to say it or whatever? Yes, it is, but he is still a body we need to replace. Can some of those names I mentioned earlier, like Patrick Queen, though, I think that's living on Fantasy Island. You're not going to get Patrick Queen unless you free up a lot of money and decide to sign no one else. Blake Cashman, Drew Tranquill, Really Gay, Devin White, Levante David. Those are all names that were listed by Barry Jackson as possible linebackers that the Dolphins that could be affordable. He listed Patrick Queen, but he basically put him in the unaffordable, living in a pipe dream land. If you really think they're going to get him at $18 million a year when you got your other issues to fill. So I know a lot of Dolphin fans seem to want Derrick Henry. I get it. Big, powerful back. I understand the love fascination. Dolphin fans always love themselves some running backs. They were all over Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, and every other running back. I'm probably forgetting that the Dolphin fans have Josh Jacobs, and everyone else I'm forgetting. They always flirt with any running back that comes available. Dolphin, and this year, just a lot. So a whole bunch of running backs are on the market. Maybe you can bring in one of those guys on an affordable contract if the market gets saturated at the running back spot. And teams don't always value the running back high this day and age, to the chagrin of all those hardworking running backs. It just is what it is. Teams don't put the emphasis on bringing in that big star running back. The days of paying those guys the big bucks are, kind of gone. Let's see. I feel like Derrick Henry would help us win in December and January. Yes, I feel like Derrick Henry would help, but yeah, he definitely would help. I'm not saying that, Timmy. I mean, he would definitely, definitely help out the Miami Dolphins without a doubt. And I'm here for it if he comes, but we got to fix up that line too, because basically, outside of Austin Jackson, give me one guy that you can guarantee. I mean, now Armstead, if he, Armstead, but you're not. I'm going to count on him for 17 games. But if you go down the line, we're unsure at right guard because of the impending free agent status of Mr. Robert Hunt, impending free agency status of Connor Williams, and injury status of Connor Williams at center. Then you move over to left guard, Isaiah Wynn, and all these guys are free to go elsewhere. You got Eichenberg coming back, but is he going to be your starting center? And he's might be, because if you somehow bring Connor back and he's not ready to start the season, their plan may be go Eichenberg to start at center until Connor Williams comes back. Who knows? So to me, that first round of the draft is just screaming screaming offensive line. But if you look at the draft, I can see a lot of offensive linemen coming off the board. Some quarterbacks. It's going to be an offensive intensive first round. There may be the Pickens may get thin in the first round by time some of those offensive tackles start coming off the board. Who knows if JPP is going to be there, which just seems to be the darling of every Dolphin fan at the moment. You got yourself, of course, Frazier out of West Virginia and Van Pram out of Georgia that Scotty mentions all the time at center. But if you don't get JPP in the first round, you're not getting him. Frazier, I don't even think he falls to the second round pick of the Dolphins, even though some mock drafts have him falling there. I don't know. I just know that everyone needs help in the trenches. As we know, it's not just the Dolphins. Everyone needs, because these guys, these tackles don't grow on trees. Big guys that can do blocking, be athletic, they don't grow on trees. So it's going to be very interesting to see the run on offensive linemen. You could see, like, I don't know. I was going through it. I forget the numbers. I don't want to say, but like 5 or 6 tackles could come off the board before the Dolphins even pick at the 21st pick. So it's crazy. So he didn't even save money or season in Connor. Right. Let's see. Baker makes play fact. Let's see. Ending. Repin the word fact. He is all right. But hey, Baker, like I say, Baker's been okay. Is he going to be a big loss? Probably not. But we do need someone to replace him. That's my only concern. And in the draft, I don't even know what linebacker can. Not in the first round. I don't see one being able to help. So that's why I named all those free agency. To me, that might be the most important spot in free agency. And again, it's all about affordability. This isn't the drunken seller spinning days of the Dolphins where they were always among the tops in the open cap space where you can just basically go out there and get whatever shiny object, as someone mentioned, that you want to bring in. Those days are gone for this year. In a couple of years, we'd be one of the teams of the biggest cap space again. Some people I was listening to, it was like, was some podcasts, but it was overall football, not just like me who's only Dolphins. It was overall football. And they had a guy saying that he thinks the Dolphins are secretly in the middle of a soft rebuild where they're going to let some big free agents walk, but have free up money come in the upcoming years and just play it out, but still have a soft rebuild with the exception of he thinks Tua will be there, but they will have a soft rebuild with their quarterback already in place this time, signed, instead of having your rookie play. I mean, have your quarterback on the rookie contract. That was his take. Whether he knows or he's just guessing. It was like on one of the, Fox Sports or CBS Radio, ESPN. It was one of the national shows actually on the radio. Is when I heard it. I was driving around. My memory's coming back to me, but I forget who said it. So when they got to the Dolphins, they said the Dolphins are in a soft rebuild. They're not going to tear it all down and build it all back up like they did in 2019, but they're going to let some people walk, not given those long-term contracts, and then bring in some cap space in the next couple years. We will see. That's why he doesn't think they're going to restructure Chubb. He says they can get out of Chubb as a contract stands right now, and they can get out of Chubb I think after next year or something. So, and that's why they don't really want it. They don't think he's a good restructure for the Dolphins, because if they do want to blow it up right now, his contract is easy to walk away from, after. So who knows? Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. Scotty, they're saying it could go well into the summer months and everything, but it's what they're saying is going to be more of a question of when, not if. It's all intents seems to be pointing that unless they're just blowing smoke up everyone's nose, I would keep it PG rated, blowing smoke in everyone's eyes. They are, that's what they're saying. That it seems like they're open for it, unless they're just doing that to boot. Yeah, we really want you, Tua. We really want you, but we just got to make it right. And then they, let them walk. But it seems like they will sign him to an extension at some point. But it doesn't seem to be in the rush to use that as the thing to free up market space, because that would be one of the ways. It'd be smarter to do it now. If you're going to give it to them, it'd just be smarter to do it now so you can have that money to spend. So that's why, and that's another indicator. He said if the Dolphins really wait on the Tua extension, it's another indicator of going through a soft rebuild here in the near future again. Because if they really wanted the money and they wanted to go big right now, they would rework his contract already, free up a little bit of money for next year, and bada boom. So who knows? We will see. No one knows. Chris Greer's not calling anyone. Ross isn't calling anyone. Mike Greer, Mike McDaniel, he's not calling anyone to tell us what their plans are and what they plan to do. But it's going to be interesting to see how they play this out with restructures on the contracts. Hey, Cap for Life, I heard you on the great Miss Finns this morning on their panel over there. Good job by you. I was also listening, being a South Floridian, listening to Joe Rose this morning and Xavier Howard saying what he said. But like I said, that's the one guy they've taken care of. Insanity said it perfect. I was going to come with the same enthusiasm she came, but she already took all that enthusiasm. They've treated that man more than fair over the years. So that's it. I wouldn't say haters, Scotty, if you're like, because of me, I'm not a big fan of Greer, but I'm definitely not a hater. But I don't know. So, but if that was aimed at me, but all the haters blaming Greer, and now we learned Wilkins was offered a very fair contract, and athletes first force him to free agency. That may be true and well. We heard that last year that they offered him a fair contract. And when I did hear that, I'm saying, well, if he's going to take that contract, is that's fine. But I'm not blaming Greer for the lack of re-signing some of the guys. I'm blaming him more for the lack of winning over the years, as far as drafting the right guys, finding them early, keeping them long term. But hey, overall, I agree, Scotty, that if the numbers that were reported last year were true, and they touched on that on the Joe Rose show this morning as well, about they offered him what they thought was a very fair contract last year. He chose not to sign it. Whether you want to say his agent, his agency, his agent, or his agency, or him, whatever. End of the day, he could have said, "No, I want that," and told his agency, "I want that money." So, but whatever. The Dolphins seem to have offered him a fair money, so that I give them credit for. He chose not to take it. Now he's in the free agent market, and he may end up getting more than what William offered. So, hey, more power to him. I get you. Maybe we get him back. Maybe a miracle happened, but I just don't see it. Omar Kelly on the Joe Rose show. I know that's a lot. Omar Kelly on the Joe Rose show this morning saying that basically Wilkins was telling teammates goodbye and stuff when they were doing their exit interviews. Word was that basically Wilkins was telling everyone goodbye and all that stuff, telling them it's been fun. So if that's all true, then that's the writing's on the wall. But hey, he would go get money somewhere. All right, thank you, Scott. I just want to make sure because I do pick on Greer sometimes. I admit, and it may come across that one because I just want, I just want a playoff win, man. That's how low my bar's gone. I would love a playoff win, man, at this point, just to let my son see a playoff win. Like I said, they're 21 and 18 years old, and they've never seen a playoff win. And at least as a kid, I got to see them win playoff games. They broke my heart in some Super Bowls, but hey, at least I saw some playoff wins. Hey, Mr. Rivera, thank you, man, for coming in. Oh, CB, we're looking for you. Let's see. I didn't even see. Did he come in here? I don't know. Well, oh, okay. Cap and Lewis, and we're looking for you. Hey, you guys all bring it on all those shows, man. Cap always going on those shows. Always fun to see him. voice his opinion like he did this morning on Miss Finn's. And CB83 brings great content all the time. I've drawn a playoff win or else did. Yes, that's it, Scotty. That was my contention this year, though. So they let me down, and maybe that's why I'm a little grumpy here this offseason. I said anything short of a playoff win in the 2023 season would be a letdown. And then I think I felt a little more let down is because it's just like the AFC East was right there for the grabbing this year, and we just uh, sometimes the old words want to come out. We just kind of let it slip away, keeping it PG-13. We just choked. There we go. We choked in December. Very frustrating when you got a 3-game lead in the AFC East going in to the final month of the season and you blow it. And then you have the chance to right all that blowing it on the last game of the season on your home turf, not in the cold of Buffalo, on your home turf. I don't care if Buffalo fans showed up. Not as huge numbers as they write it up to be, but there was a lot of Buffalo fans. I'm not going to lie. But that doesn't matter. We were in the nice warm weather of South Florida and we choked it away. We let them come into our house and beat us up, and it was bad. So that's why I think I'm a little grumpier this offseason than my normal super positive Pete kind of vibe I try to bring, trying to be positive on this team. But that was a gut punch this year for our Miami Dolphins to have that huge AFC East lead, man. Just one game. You win the Tennessee game, at least you win the damn AFC East. Beat Buffalo one time this season. You win the AFC East. We had our chances and we just couldn't get it done. And there we go. Justin. Yeah, Justin, but I'm keeping it PG-13. But yes, that's almost a term I was. Oh, believe me, I just want this team to win. It's going to be interesting in the next couple of days. Got to get, according to Omar Kelly and the number I saw on the over the cap, we're around 19 million, still over the cap. We got till March 13th to rectify that problem. So we will see. And remember, if we end up signing, I don't see us signing John Newsmith until after. I mean, we're capable of signing him now because he's been released. There's none of that tampering charges. You guys don't got to get worried about that. He was released. He doesn't qualify as a impending free agent. But if you give him money now, it's just that much more you got to get under the cap. So that's why I was surprised to see they were already, maybe they're just working out the details of it. And then when the money gets cleared up, they will have a better understanding of how to fit him into the team. Yeah, I can say poop. There you go. There, poop the bed. So much better. I remember, man, I used to work in the field where all kinds of crazy things were said. So I said in retirement, I got to be a nice, gentler, not say so many harsh things. But even though the Dolphins do piss me off, that's about I would say the Dolphins piss me off as much as I love them. It's But as my old sergeant said, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on, unless you're into that. That's what he would say every roll call when people were mad and voiced their concerns. But anyway, so I shared one dirty with you guys. But it is what it is. And the Dolphins have broken our hearts more often than they've given us the love. But we always love them back. That's the thing. We may bash them, we may tear them apart, but at the end of the day, we come back and we want them to win. And that would be a great feeling around. I think maybe winning a Super Bowl for the Dolphins may give us 1 week of positive Dolphin Twitter. 1 week, maybe. That might be pushing it because they will already be after the 1 week when they start seeing like, oh, Dolphins have to release this guy. Oh my God. They'll be right back to it. But you know what? Maybe a Dolphins Super Bowl, we're being unite Dolphins Twitter for 1 week. I wouldn't even say, I would say 1 year, but I know I'm living in a utopia if I say Dolphins Twitter could be happy for 1 year. So maybe 1 week if the Dolphins win the Super Bowl. Some people may say I'd be lucky to get 1 day out of a completely happy Dolphins Twitter. So who knows? Better be pistol than the Dolphin. Oh, to Michael K. Why am I saying to? But I love both Ralph and us next, and yesterday happened. I know they did the purge. I saw Buffalo fans were calling it. We can say what we feel. Any other team says something about us, we're full circle no matter. Yeah, that is true. That is true. We do come unite when another fan base comes in and picks on us. I do. Yeah, Mike. Okay, I don't know how confident you can be in your Buffalo team moving forward. Yeah, how I don't know. Let's see. 4 in a year, 107. Hey, yeah, there you go. And I agree on those. Maybe those being the possible number. If you can get June, like I said, it's not bad. That's a movie they can do now because there's no tampering involved. I saw someone bring that up, like, "Oh my god, how can it be talking to him? I thought we weren't well until the league year." I'm like, dude, if you're released, you can talk right away. It's different, so it's all good, man. Take a chill pill. It's all good. The Dolphins aren't going to be that open about after what they've already got nailed of tampering. Oh yeah, we got this guy in camp today, even though the league year doesn't start till next year. But yeah, okay. Is we're good here, guys. Hey, Brewski 237, big fins up to you. This offseason is loaded of potential players. Yes, it is Brewski, but they also got to cut their own, restructure their own to get the money to spend on new guys coming in. And that's going to be answered soon, whether we're doing are we all in again for 2024? Are they going to go all in, or are they going in like, well, let's kind of build for the future with still giving us a chance to win this year, kind of a soft rebuild, starting letting some big numbers go. That's going to be interesting to see on that front. Guys, if you haven't done so already, throw some likes at me, hit those thumbs up, fins up to all you Dolphin fans. Hey, Dolphin Don, welcome in. Hey, She Devil, welcome in. Yeah, if the Dolphins were to win a Super Bowl, fans would argue over who gets more credit. It would be endless tour duties. Hey, you're probably right, She Devil. I'm just saying, maybe for a week we could be all positive. But maybe, like I say, I'm living in a dream world, thinking if we could get a week out of positive Dolphins Twitter, or for you guys that do Facebook more, or Instagram. I would say Instagram tends to be. I'm hardly ever on Instagram. I started it for Dolphins Thirsty, but I never think about posting there. But I don't think people get maybe as nasty there. I could be wrong, and you guys could say you're wrong. But maybe that's like the one soft landing spot. I hear Reddit. I've never been on Reddit in my life, but I hear that it's just as nasty as some of the other ones. So people out there would love to ring every time I ever have. That's funny though. Scotty, I don't know if you know that. That's what Omar Kelly was pounding the table for Jarvis Landry coming back. But the man's been out. Joe Rose said he's been out. I didn't even realize he was out of football that long, saying he's been gone for like year and a half already out of football. So I don't know how much he has left. I know he's never been a speedster, so his speed is not going to be the issue. Excuse me, like I said, I'm overcoming the cold. Um, so speed is not a big thing. That was never his forte anyway. He's just bringing you toughness over the middle in the slot and stuff like that. So who knows? But I don't know. Does he even still want to play, Scotty? Have you seen that out there? No, I know. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're no big, but he actually wrote an article supposedly because that's what him and Joe Rose were also talking about this morning. They talked about a whole bunch of stuff. They also talked about because Joe Rose was like, "Oh, I'm not sure about Landry. Does he have anything left?" And this and that. Joe Rose is more of the Braxton Berrios, bring him back over bringing Landry back. That's his thing. He goes, "I'd rather just bring Braxton Berrios back at that." So who knows? I haven't heard. Yeah, no, no, that's where I had heard it. The only reason I heard it was from Omar Kelly. I know not a big fan. Some people aren't big fans of him, but he does, talk a lot of Dolphins. So I do follow. I mainly where I get my stuff from him is when he makes his weekly appearance on the Joe Rose show, which he was this morning. And sometimes he does 2 days a week now with Joe Rose, actually. So it's all good. Hey guys, I almost see it's almost time to wrap up, man. Can't believe you guys came in. I'm happy I ended up doing a show because, like I said, I didn't do one yesterday because I was really sneezing up a storm. I said, "Oh, that's not going to be good YouTube." Gotcha, gotcha. So I said, I can take a day off. People can deal without Thirsty for one day. And tomorrow I'm off. Not off really, but I do my baseball show on Fridays at 10 a.m. on another channel. Hard pass on ball. Well, you know what, Justin? We may have to end up taking a receiver then, like some people are predicting, and it'd be interesting. Like I said, let's see what we do. First, we got to get under the cap. Then let's see. So that means either getting rid of more people, restructuring some contracts, and then sorry if you hear that scratching. It's my dog. Oh, Chase. There. He wanted up. So there's a lot of news coming over the next couple of days. I'll be here Monday. It'll be my next show because on the Fins Talk Sports Network every Friday, they've invited me on a new baseball show they do. And it's fun. So I'll be talking baseball tomorrow. Always good stuff. I don't know. I would say maybe Ramsey or Hill from what they were saying on the Joe Rosso and some other articles I've read that Chubb's contract they can get out of kind of easily after this year if they was to do so. But if you restructure them, you're just pushing that credit card bill down. And it's like depends if you really think Chubb's the guy long term. And is he going to be back from the injury with the same burst? He's going to be hitting his 30th year of age. And, is he going to still have that same burst after coming back from the bad injury he had in that Ravens game at the end of the Ravens game? That's the big question. But Ramsey and Hill are definitely on that list of where they are going to want. And it's really good. It's going to be about more guaranteed money. So and then they would, free up some space there. So, not many people are willing to take a pay cut. So when people say restructure, oh, they're not going to take, no, it's not really about pay cut, people. It's just about restructuring, pushing the money down the line. But Chris Greer has repeatedly said this offseason twice, once at the combine and once is in that they can't keep on doing business like he's been doing, which is giving all this money and kicking the can down the road. It's not sustainable. So who knows? Who knows? That would be Greer is an easiest consistent read. Whenever we don't structure thus off season, we cut next, i.e., don't touch Baker next year. Gone on. I think it's Armstead and Hill. Yeah, you're right. Arms Von Miller renegotiated his contract. Yeah, some players do over the years. Some do. I mean, Cedric Wilson did it for the Dolphins last year, so it's not unheard of. Michael K that they take less money. Cedric Wilson got us out of a huge contract last year by re. So it happens. It happens for sure. And other Dolphins have players have restructured over the years to take actually a little less money. So it happens, but are they obligated to do it? No. So most of the times when the renegotiations come, it's about getting more guaranteed money and making the cap number a little less for that upcoming year. That's how the Dolphins have been doing it. Hey, Dad Dean. Well, I hope not, Justin. I hope not. Watch the Patriots more game than the Dolphins next year. If the Patriots win a playoff game before us, that's when I just told that to my son driving to school today. I said, if the Patriots end up winning a playoff game before us, because I said, at least the Jets, it's been a long time since they too. But I go, man, if the Patriots end up rebuilding and having a playoff, which I don't think they will, but it's just I would say that's when I know we're really screwed. How many unrestricted free agents do the Dolphins have? Like 28. How are they ever going to be competitive with that alone? Provide depth because the injuries are. I know, Mike. They're up against it, dude. They're up against it. But it's not uncommon in the NFL. If you look every year, it's like 30 or 40% of the rosters overturned throughout the NFL. It's just the cost of doing business. But yes, their numbers are going to be lower this year. So they're going to get some replacement level type players to come in and fill those gaps in the positions that, we can't go all out. They could probably go out for one shiny new object if they want to, but then it sacrifices depth in the other areas. So I'd rather just sign a whole bunch of, I'd rather sign more solid players at this point than go out and get the one big name that's going to cost you the big bank and, cause depth issues at any spot. Anyway, guys, it's been a big, fun Throwback Thursday. We talked about always the throwback at the beginning. As you can see there, that's AJ Dewey in the picture. That's AJ Dewey's jersey in the back, which Justin of Digging in the Trenches was able to get for me. So really cool stuff on that front there. And on my thumbnail was Richmond Webb, Keith Sims, and Tony Nathan. And all good things to talk about on this Throwback Thursday. And that's it for today, guys. Again, thank you so much. Hopefully by Monday, when I do my next live show on here, there is some good Dolphin news as far as we should know at least all the what's Monday's date. So whatever. So we're gonna know, because then all that before we know it, the new league year is gonna be here. So hopefully we're under the cap. And there's all kinds of fun stuff moving forward to talk about. That's what I said. Yes, Moneyball, man, like the Oakland A's back in baseball. Definitely like Billy Bean. Maybe they would make a movie on us, but the only thing is we could at least win a playoff game or something. Even though they didn't win either, but they made it to the playoffs. And but hey, we need to really do a good Moneyball movie. You need to win the Super Bowl after coming off a year like that. Anyway, at my son is not the mount as a Cowboy player. Greer is an embarrassment for letting it get to this point. Michael K never is shy to throw him. Hey, it is what it is. Michael K, like I say, your Buffalo Bills though are, yes, you got Josh Allen. Yes, you got that, your quarterback for the next foreseeable future, but you also don't, you got some issues too with the cap. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Fins up as always. I appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, know those thumbs up, which I always call fins up. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, man, he knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins.